Welcome to A&A Products Tutorials. This tutorial is going to be about the new product called Flexi-Glass. And what we want to do is follow the instructions and see how that product works. Part 1 is making Flexi-Glass threads. And I'll tell you now, I didn't like that quite as well as I did the second part, which is on Flexi-Glass fusible film. So let's take a look at the product and see what we found out using that product. The Flexi-Glass kit comes with the following items in it. First, we have the Flexi-Glass transfer sheets. These are the sheets on which you'll put your product. We have the Flexi-Glass medium, which is the main product of this kit. Black enamel or blue enamel or various enamel colors. These are enamels, not frets. We will show that you can also use a fine fret for one of the demonstrations. And then we have mica powder, gold mica powder, with which we can make lusters. We're going to go through the various processes that you can do with this kit and show you how to use the Flexi-Glass product. What we're going to do in this particular video is use the instructions for using the Flexi-Glass to make glass threads, and see how that turns out. The instructions tell you the mix. We have here some isopropyl alcohol, and it's a good idea to mark your containers, so you might keep the same thing in there. Have some here blue enamel, and this you must have enamel, not frit, for this particular experiment for threads. And in here we have the Flexi-Glass medium. 2 parts medium, 1 part enamel, 1 part alcohol. And then the objective is to mix them. So we're going to do that now. We'll mix them together, putting the enamel into the medium and adding the alcohol. And then the only thing left is to stir this. The instructions state that we should be patient, that it may take some time. We should stir it until we can pull a long string of the material out. It states up to 12 inches. I don't know whether we'll get that or not. I guess we'll find out. We'll just continue to mix. Okay, it's beginning to get very plastic-like, quite heavy. And what we're going to do is we have the transfer paper here, and we're going to pull some strings of this and lay it on the transfer paper. And let's see what we get here. Actually gets quite hard. Or elastic, I guess, is the better idea. I'll let it string out till it gets a little thinner, so it's not quite so thick, and bring it back in, try to make a few patterns just to see how this works. I rechecked the instructions and it said you fire between 15 and 20 minutes. So I picked 18 minutes, which is a little bit in between. And this is what they look like after 18 minutes in the kiln. What we're going to do now is pull them out and see if we can pull them off the sheet and what they look like. So we'll do that next. Okay, we have the sheet out of the kiln. I noticed that some of the thicker ones are still pretty spongy. They may not have totally cured. Some of the thinner ones are very thin, so I'm not sure how they'll come off the sheet. I'm going to start with a thicker one over here and see what happens as we pull it off the sheet. And what I have is, as I said, it's not cured, so it's still sticky on the back side. And so if you have a thicker piece, you may want to give it more than 20 minutes, or at least keep in mind that thicker pieces will take more time to cure. Let me go with a piece that's not so thick. And the pieces are pretty much tied together, so they may not all come off evenly. Well, there you can see one of the things that happens is the pieces break fairly evenly when they're thin. And then you get a piece of white paper of some kind that you can at least see on the back side of it by looking at it. What's happened? So there are It is very difficult to get the thin pieces off without breaking them, but there is a partial piece at least there, and even on it you can see that where it's thicker it probably has not totally cured inside. So you have to be very gentle with them. They're quite thin, and I'm not sure if you could get pieces off in one whole piece that were this thin. So it appears to me that the major problem, and it's probably a learning process, is to be able to get the stringers or the threads the right size. Because if they get too thin, they just don't come off well. On the other hand, if they get too thick, they're not cured unless you leave them in the oven longer. I think the next time I try this, I will try to do it with a little thicker pieces and cure them or heat them a longer time and see what happens. Very difficult to get any whole pieces off. That doesn't mean you can't use them, since they're just to be used like you'd use any other enamel. They just have some shape to them. This one almost came off as a whole, so I can get a hold of it. And that one pretty much came off as a whole, but again, on the back side, it's still wet where it was too thick. You can see the different color. It hasn't quite cured. So, something to keep in mind. Well, we've never tried these before, so I have some idea what they are. With some planning and some work, I suspect that you can get something off. And what you're going to do with them when you get something off is, you know, use them to decorate your pieces. Let's just take this one and see if we can get it over here. Pick it up. Alright, I'm just going to sit it on there. But what you have then is enamel that you can actually put onto your glass and fuse into the glass. One of the instructions says that if you do this with the threads, that it would be good to put a clear coat of clear glass on it, clear powder, clear powdered glass a little bit over it, and then fire it to a fuse, and we'll maybe try that a little bit later. For this exercise, we've got all the information that we need. Well, I can see that the process will probably work, but it will take some practice. It'll take some effort to learn how to make those just the right size, to mix them to the right thickness, and they get thick faster than I thought. So we'll go on and try another part of the Flexi-Glass kit and see how another section and project works.
Dos gardenias para ti, con ellas quiero decir